Hello? Hello?
Hey.
How you all doing?
Good.
Anyone not doing good? That's the question.
I'm doing well.
That's better than bad, isn't it? Or fair to middle. One of the two. Alright. Cool. It is 7-ish. I believe that's everyone in. Mostly. Okay, guys. A little bit different tonight. Set of training. We got Talon. You have a guest tonight. That's cool.
Yes.
Awesome. Dave, where are you at?
Not yet, I think.
He's
Not
not
here yet. Excellent. Even better. This is perfect time. Okay, I'll send him over if he comes on. Right. So yeah, Talon, you got announcements or anything like that?
No, nothing for us.
Cool. Please go off and do your thing, and I'll send people over to you when they're here. Thank you, sir.
Training.
You too. Right. What else? Vegas, do you have a task or any announcement?
I think Caesar's still loading.
Yes, so we have a guest.
Roger that.
Alright.
Okay, so
Dave
Gambler
is
guys,
gonna come fly with
except
normally.
for NCOs, all
I
NCOs
don't
please
know.
stay here.
Yep.
Gambler, my dudes,
Irish Gambler.
make your way with Wilhelm
Yes,
over
but,
to
yeah.
Rifle
He's not
Range,
here yet, but
please.
whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All
For
Gamma
Sunday
guys
we
apart from
have-
NCOs on me.
Click, point, and click
Rifle
artillery.
range, level 1, and then follow
Can I
me
do
through.
artillery on Sunday?
Yeah, we have
3-0,
point and click
you need to
artillery.
go to the
Right.
LAT
Right,
range,
following
please.
southeast.
So it's just
Southeast?
yeah. And we have
And I'll be
little
over
birds armed
shortly.
and armed.
Just make sure you get.
So I'm gonna put everything
Yeah.
down.
Alright,
First.
cool. Right, we've got tonight. Jazz,
Oh,
ready,
got one
Ref,
there? No, we don't have one there.
Icarus, Kimbo,
How's it going
Kimbo,
on?
So
Ashley.
Davio, yes,
What are we doing,
visiting.
mate?
Oh, he's gonna
We
challenge.
are going to
None
learn how to use the power
aware of
and
yet.
later
Fuck
we're
off,
going
Shay.
to
He
teach
just told me that he will be
Talon
flying with us today, but I think he will be
Yay.
checking us out.
Yeah,
And
it's,
I
I
think he
I
will
saw a video
try to, or
as
It's
when we loaded
201 freight channel 2.
and
Is that
it was a
big?
different piece of equipment. We also
That's
just,
to 0 to 5.
Magnus needs
Cool.
to go on.
it sounds
So
really
I saw a grenade launcher
like
over to zero.
it's a fucking
Copy
tank.
that, really both land.
Let Jazz go
There's,
through first, make sure it's
all the
clear.
possibilities.
Yeah.
Don't worry, please.
We have or if you want to do some form of drone training because of the
I
sort
want
of
big
assumption.
boots.
Let's double time it, Victor. Let's go, go, go.
Where are they?
We'll figure it out. Rifle range level 1. Rifle range level 1.
Do you mean CQB range one? Oh.
Base, where are we going?
Rifle range level 1. I believe.
You haven't made your way down to look for the purple smoke southeast.
Do you think it'll whip us when we get there? For being late? Definitely gonna whip this guy. Sean.
Mate, you couldn't even whip cream.
Right, once Victor's here, we'll kick things off.
Oh, yeah, just came
Shlee,
Yes.
you're in the wrong place.
Right.
Let me just get you over to.
What's all got?
I think you're in the right place, Victor.
Yeah, Victor's in the right place. Shlee is not.
Alright.
See you later.
Bye.
See
Thank
ya.
you. Hello?
The big crate.
What am I doing, Stubbs? Grabbing the training rifle?
Yeah, basically, mate. Everything live that you have, ammo, grenades, everything. In this crate, you've got L85 types. Make sure you put a BFA on it. You can pick a scope. It should be the L-can, I think we've got in there. Yeah, it is. Fill up on blank rounds, training rounds, or training grenades, that kind of stuff. You'll have to dump your rifle in the big crate, so you can't put it in that one for some reason.
Alright. I thought this was the weapon. I think it'll swap it out anyway in the arsenal, right?
It's not an arsenal. But
Alright, with you.
yeah, it's because I've filled it up, so it's like it's acting like it's full when it's really not.
Oh Jesus Christ! It already picked up mags. Anybody
10
need
mags, yeah.
ammunition?
Yeah, I didn't
How many
notice
have
it
you
picked
got?
up 7 in my vest automatically.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 16 on me now.
Oh well.
I can't put them back. Oh, never mind.
Still plenty light. 24 kilos.
Yeah, I'm 25. It's fine.
I think the radio I carry weighs about fucking 80, so it's, regardless of what I do, I'm always well overweight. Story of my life.
Dragging that shit behind you every mission.
Pretty much, yeah. Alright, you're good?
Yeah.
All got BFAs on. Got smokes for the underslungs if you carry an underslung. Handheld smokes, handheld frags. Well, the training frags.
Oh, no frags. Sweet.
They're blue. Don't pick up any that are green.
Yep.
Yep, we're ready.
Cool. So what we're going to do then, so for 2 ICs, we'll try and get you in, but I want you to kind of learn what we're doing. It's all training for everyone's sake, if you know what I mean. But if you look on the map, we'll see we've got a bit of a circuit. Our starting point is 084129. And then it flows round there. So going from dot to dot to dot. And I'll just kind of switch these all out as we're going around, and stuff may or may not happen in between there. But the important thing, like I say, it's all about controlling your squad, getting formations going, stuff like that, and switching between them quickly and easily. Also, we'll go over RVs and stuff like that. We'll do a little bit of dry walkthrough, talk through first, just so you can kind of establish a base. And then we'll go from there and see how you get on, essentially. I'm just going to be acting as like part of the squad, whoever's organising it, and I'll just tag along with it. So when we're going around, just walking pace, standard patrolling type stuff. Okie doke, right, let's move into the open a little.
Yeah, you want us to join? Yeah.
Yeah, let me just lead this group here one sec.
Let's join on steps. Oh, that's not join on steps.
I want you on red. Right, there, everyone. Sweet. Righty, so one of the biggest things I've noticed when you guys are kind of stepping off and going places, it's just your guys tend to be all over the place, whether that be because they're on security or whatever, that's fine. But the actual moving off tends to be really messy and sloppy, and you'll find that, or certainly something I've noticed, is you guys that are toward the rears, particularly the AURs, have to move quite far and quite quickly, and they're normally out of stamina before they even get anywhere. Excuse me 1 second, I'm just going to grab a fucking 3-4-3.
We go 3-4-3-5 stabs.
Yeah. Drop that goddamn radio. Alright, so yeah, like I say, like people like your AURs and stuff, tend to have to move a lot further, and they're normally out of stamina and you have to stop fairly quickly. So one easy way of doing this is just to basically get everyone into a column to start off with before you step off. Now there's not to say a right way and a wrong way to do this, but before you get back to step off, it's very simple just to say collapse in on me. When that happens, you as squad leader, they should all move towards yourself. Your point man, who is normally what, your grenadier for the majority of you?
Engineer.
Do you have an engineer? Oh, okay. Cool.
Grenadier.
Alright, well, either or, I mean, it is what it is, whoever. So wherever you have your point man, for now it's going to be ref. Just drops in front of you in the direction you're going to be going and takes a knee, facing forward. So, face out that way. There we go. Right, next man comes in, whoever you'd have second, which is normally what for you guys?
AUR tends to want to be quite close to the front in formations for
That's
us.
fucking madness, but whatever. Anyone else?
I usually have squad lead or 2IC up front.
Okay, we'll go squad lead. Personally, I would recommend you have 2 people before a squad lead or an NCO, but either or. You know, you could have your engineer followed by your grenadier, something like that. Essentially 2 people that can die before you're going to get shot. Whoever's next then, so let's say Jazz, right, you drop down next, and you want to be facing out left. So right up close to him. No, right up, like literally, you want to get behind him, and you turn left.
Like, really cozy and like...
Really cozy.
Ooh.
And then so on. So next man gets in, tucks in. So this might be your squad leader. Drops down, tucks in right behind, and then faces out to the right. So you're herringboning in a nice line. Right to Kimbo. Army right. There you go. Next man down. Next. And next. And the last man obviously faces toward the rear. Rear. There we go. That rear. Okay, so you're all nice and close together. Why do we do this? Well, one, if you're going to be starting behind cover, it means everyone can fit behind the cover. And 2, you don't need to be shouting across to people. You don't need to use your radios. If you speak quite quietly, everyone can still hear you, and you're all good to go. So starting off from this kind of fashion, this is also a good way of moving into different formations very, very quickly and easily. So, for example, let's say Jazz, you're red, Kimbo, you're blue, Retty, you're red, Icarus, blue, Schlee, red.
What was I?
You're just you right now.
Okay.
So you can see with this, you're kind of in odds at the moment. You're not exactly set out as a traditional fire team. This kind of becomes apparent pretty quickly. So imagine now if you're going to step off, nice open field in front of you, so you're going to go in arrowhead or wedge, yeah? Because that's technically what we should be doing. It's pretty easy to get from this line to any formation. So if you stand up and just start walking slowly forward, immediately now Jazz can get up, go left, Kimbo can get up, go right, Icarus left, blah blah blah. And straight away, you guys are already in that formation. So if you stop now, and just have a look around yourself, you'll hear me on this, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, so you can see just from that, like that instant kind of movement, it's not always going to be that easy to do because you'll be behind cover and stuff like that, but instantly you're already in a formation. So what I want you to do now is close back into the original formation. That's it, that's exactly right. So point man just always just takes a knee, the rest of them closing around the point man. Now again, that was pretty easy to close in around a particular guy, and let's go column this time, or stagger column as if you were going down a road. So Jazz left, Kimbo right. Do that now.
Alright, moving up.
That's it. And close back in.
Holding.
So this is the kind of thing you want to be doing with your guys to make it much easier for you to control as a squad leader. You don't have to worry about herding fucking cattle like I saw the past few missions, because people just tend to drift off and all the rest of it. If you can keep this as like your main hold situation, obviously it's not always going to be the case. A simple hold isn't going to dictate that you're closing like this, but if you start and stop an RV in this kind of fashion, then you're onto a winner straight away. It's already going to be a very, very easy thing to control. Any questions on that?
Yeah, got one question.
Sure.
What if we know that there are moches in the area, for example, or enemies are using grenades, rocket launches, etc., and we're holding like this?
You wouldn't do this when it's like live combat going on. This is more for when you're starting out somewhere, or you wouldn't necessarily RV like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a good way to keep control. Or if you're stopping before moving out somewhere else, like stopping for a period of time, you form up like this before you move. Essentially, I'll go on to RVs next, which are a little bit easier to manage. But again, this kind of thing should be as standard as when you're about to move out. It just allows getting into formations and stuff real quick with no real fucking about, and everyone starts heading toward the side they need to head toward, without some guy kind of 100 meters out to the north that he has to catch up with everyone once everyone started off. Alright, so we'll switch it around now. So let's say Schlee's point man this time, and we're going to be heading into an RV. So if you all just stand up. Alright, and as we're kind of walking forward a bit, so we know that 20 meters up ahead is our RV point. So moving up, and this is obviously just for foot stuff. So if you hit the RV point now, first thing happens is Schlee gets on his knee, then hits his belly. Next man angles himself round to the right a little bit, goes down. Next man, like a clock face now, you want to be turning around. The squad leader should be kneeling in the middle, and everyone's getting around the squad leader. So let's say squad leader's me, and you want a full 360 around that. Again, you come in the order of people, or however you organise them, and you leave the same way. So Kimbo, get down on your belly.
Yep. Just having a quick look.
Why?
Just wanted to see how pretty it looked.
Such an asshole. Retty, lie down. Alright, so you might not be in the best position to see stuff. I mean, obviously you wouldn't pick this as an RV, it's just for an example. But you guys can spread out. Obviously, in the day, you've got 343s and stuff like that. You could go out kind of 20 meters away from your squad leader, but you want to still be within reach. So if you do spot something, the squad leader can automatically react and go there. Now, RVs, what are RVs used for? Obviously, gathering your thoughts, gathering stamina, and all that kind of stuff. What else can you be doing in an RV like this?
Briefing.
Yep.
Ace reports.
Ace reports. Who should be looking after your ace reports?
2IC.
Exactly. So at this point, squad leader could be there on 148 getting his orders or whatever else. Your 2IC can literally be running up to each man going, are you good? Are you good? Physically checking each guy's backpack, making sure they've got enough ammo. If your AURs need a second belt, the 2IC can grab the belt from that guy's backpack and pass it on to the AUR. All that kind of admin stuff. Do you understand what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't push out like too far. You want to stay fairly close together. And I get your point, Ref, like, oh, what if they're using mortars and grenades and all the rest of it? Well, the idea, like this style of RV, again, is done like not when you're in direct contact. Regardless if you were spread out 100 meters or not, if you get mortared when you're just patrolling through a field, you're shit out of luck regardless, in all honesty. But you do an RV like this somewhere that's fairly secure, but has got good observation areas as well. So you wouldn't just do it at the bottom of a valley where you could get shot down. You do it like, this isn't actually that bad of an RV. You probably do it more in the buildings or something, but imagine the building wasn't there. It's probably not that bad just to take a knee for 5 minutes because you've got a fairly good coverage for most of it. So yeah, and moving off from an RV then, you do it in exactly the same order as what you got up, and the spacings should stay pretty much normal or the same as what they were. So let's say Schlee's point man, Icarus is second man, and I'm squad lead. I'm going to move out, and then it flows around from Kimbo to the right. So Kimbo, Jazz, Ref, and Reti. So Schlee gets up, he's the first man out, and you're going to go wedge heading east.
Wedge east?
Yep. Walk. Okay. And Icarus is straight up. I'm next man up, and I'm heading straight out to the left of Schlee. Next man can get up. And you want to give it, 5 to 10 seconds before that man gets up, and then the next one's up. Alright, bring it round to bearing northeast now.
Heading northeast.
Cool, stop there. Alright, so when you're given a hold as a squad leader, you should be looking around, making sure everyone's on the knee and they're covering the arcs that they're supposed to be. So in a wedge, obviously left side faces out left, rear men facing rear, right's facing right. It's pretty standard stuff. From here then, if they're on the knees for more than kind of 10-15 seconds, you'd expect them to be getting down on the belt buckle. If they're not, you need to be telling them to do that. Next thing then, so let's say we are going to be heading direct south, but we need to change formation into single file or column. Does that happen straight away? Answer is no. Alright, so everyone stand up. Alright, so if we're going to say the point man's going to be heading off to the south now, or taking a very gradual, in fact, very sharp turn south, so let's Schlee, you see the tree that's to the southeast of you?
Yep.
Alright, so when you hit there, you're going to go column. The point man, it's his job to kind of dictate the formations under squad leader's guidance. So point man starts heading down south now. The rest of you, or the rest of your squad, should stick with the original formation until they hit the point where the point man changes. Does that make sense? So you don't all collapse automatically, because there's no point, because you're still in a certain area of terrain. So we'll keep moving forward, and we'll angle until we get to that tree, and that's when we collapse in onto single file. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Alright, so let's take a walk. So Schlee, take a set.
Stepping off.
So you want to keep, you kind of focus on the way you're supposed to be. And as we're getting into file now, so Icarus will come in, I'll tuck in behind Icarus, and then the next guys, as you're travelling up, you'll naturally just collapse into that formation.
And then head south.
Helps if I don't get stuck in a fucking bush.
That it does. Okay, let's say we're going to hold here and we're going to herringburn up together as well. So just the command for that can be whatever you want. You just close in on me or whatever, close in on point. So Icarus, you get right up behind him.
Was it left or right? I don't remember. Or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter. Like Icarus just made a good point. Do you collapse in left or right? To be honest, it's completely up to you. If you organise your teams where you've got red on left, blue on right, that can be the order that they face all the time. Or it can simply be dictated by the fact that as soon as you start closing in, the first man points a certain way, the next man points the opposite way. It's pretty straightforward. But just bear in mind that it all comes on you. If you want certain things to happen, you guys need to tell them. Okay, don't leave much to chance. And that's what it's all about. it's collapsing people up. We'll break up the formation, but just turn around, chill out. It's all about keeping people on a very, very short leash, but still giving them enough freedom to react to contact should they need it. But when it comes to things like just patrolling and moving around, if you start letting them get away with more than they probably should, then you're just going to find people running out of stamina, not being where they need to be, not facing the correct ways and all that. It'll take a bit of micromanaging at first until they get into the habit of it. Does anybody have any questions with that?
Not a question, but an observation.
Sure.
When you have people that are really hurt and lost a lot of blood, they will lose their stamina anyway, unless they have regenerated to 100%, which they can't see because it zones out after you stand for a while. So that was a slight issue that we had with one guy last Sunday, I believe. So
but then that's where you have to make allowances to what you're doing. One thing that I've noticed that you all do that we don't need to do is when we say go head off in a certain direction, what's the natural pace that you all go to?
Slow jog.
Yep. And you don't need to. There's no need to do that. You can walk. And then that saves the vast majority of people's stamina all the time. So, yeah, you're going to take casualties. Things have to adapt. You're not always going to be able to do everything the way you should. But if you're just patrolling, and that's what we're talking about, we're not talking about advanced contact. We're just talking about a general patrol or moving from A to B. This is a pretty surefire way to make sure that everyone is going to be at the same pace, at the same stamina level, and all the rest of it, without worrying about the afters. When it comes to like reaction to contact and dealing with after contact incidents, that's a different ball game altogether, and that's something that will be more your responsibility as a squad leader / 2IC to ensure that the squad is only moving as fast as their slowest person. That comes down to kind of man management and stuff like that. But it's what I want to cover here is just the basic theory of trying to keep a short leash on people.
All right.
But it's a valid observation. But like I say, that's when things like that happen. That's when it really does come down to you as an NCO to make sure that the squad's only moving as fast as that certain person, and then you relay it to me and be like, we can't go that fast. We've got a casualty. Blah blah blah. Then we can look at getting them patched up and stuff if it is really slowing down the situation. But don't feel, guys, that you have to jog everywhere. It's really not necessary. I don't like it, to be honest, because it's inhuman. You just wouldn't jog for like 3k and then have a firefight. It's just not going to be a thing. I've got no issues with you guys walking from A to B. If anything, I find that kind of stuff more immersive myself, but I understand that it's individual stuff. Anyone got any further comments or observations, stuff like that?
No.
Right. What's something you find hardest about just kind of leading or patrolling or something like that? Just any kind of negatives or something you don't like?
Just fucking needless fucking comms when it's busy. Like for me personally in Blade, people tend to jump to me sometimes first when really they should be going to sleep for stupid things. Like, I mean, that's something I suppose that me and Shley have got to work out together more than like here. But that's for me. That's just like it's one more headache you don't need as a squad lead, and your 2IC should be perhaps picking up the needless chatter just to free you up.
I think that it kind of falls back onto drilling the fundamentals. So like stuff like this, it probably seems like the most basic shit to you guys, and I'm aware it does. But I think it's always worth going over, because if you take this back to your squad and be like, this is how we're doing it, even if it's a variation of this, I'm not saying you have to do this exactly. It's just some advice from me, if anything. If you get them on this short leash, if you say, whenever we stop, this is how you go down. Like, you stop, you take a knee straight away. If you're kneeling for more than 15 seconds, you get on your belly. You're always going to be facing left when you stop. If you're on red team, you're always going to go to the left flank. If you're on blue team, do you know what I mean? Like, you drill these absolute fundamentals and these core things, it cuts the chatter down to an absolute minimum. Because you are right. The squads are fucking loud, way louder than they need to be. But a lot of the time it's because they are under this impression, and rightly so to a degree, that their movement from A to B is just a walk. It's just a run to get to that next contact. Well, that's not going to be the case for much longer, especially with this insta-death stuff. Like, if that comes in, I know for a fact my missions, I'm going to be bumping people when they're on their patrols a lot more. A hell of a lot more. So they need to shut the fuck up and be looking and covering their arcs. And this is the kind of stuff you need to drill into them. Like, how can they possibly be watching when they're just going to get bumped or they're just talking all the time? There's no way they're going to be able to see everything. So drill the fundamentals first, and then if they know exactly where they need to be, when they need to be there, they will soon stop talking. Because I think a lot of the time chatter is because they just don't really understand what's happening, and they're just moving from A to B. That's all they know. They're just moving to the next firefight. Does that make sense at all?
You know,
I'm talking out my
Sounds
ass.
about right.
But yeah, like, I'm going to not enforce, but I'm going to encourage mission makers that movements from A to B shouldn't be just a movement from A. Like, there's a very distinct difference between a patrol and an advance to contact in my eyes. Like, an advance to contact is, we know that there are enemy over there in the building, so you move a little differently. Whereas a patrol is, we know we need to get over there. Well, that's a different type of movement straight away. So you need to make sure those lines are blurred for people, and that they're not always going to be safe moving from A to B, and that's something you can instill on them in individual training as well. Right, let's have a look whereabouts we are. Okay, let's move back to the house, and we'll go for a bit of a patrol.
Can I ask a quick question? It's a basic question, sorry. Didn't mean to charge at you like that.
Right.
So, like, you could say, if you advance into contact, you're kind of already in an extended line, whereas everything else is going to basically patrol, staggered formation, wedge, all that kind of good stuff, column. That is the precursor to taking contact, which is an extended line. So most formations, you need to practice collapsing. Does that make sense? Forming into an extended line from wedge, from column.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Every formation should flow from one to the next. Like, that's why they're designed the way they are. Like, if you're moving, you start off in single file like we just did up there, you can very quickly move to arrow. You can then collapse down to column. From there, you can just break into extended line. They will all interchange very, very easily if you practice that. Like, I'm not saying, guys, that you have to be in formations every single time. Like, it's not feasible, but it works. Like, if I'm being a Trixie Zeus and I see you guys bimbling through an open field in a single line, chances are I'd be very tempted to put a burst straight down the middle and see how many of you I can get. Whereas if you're in a big wedge / arrowhead, I've got to pick one to shoot at, which is a lot more difficult. But if you're all in a bunch, and that's why they use, that's exactly why they use, and the chances are, if you're all nice and spread out looking where you're supposed to look, you're going to see me before I can get a shot off. And that's the crux of it. But yeah, you're right. An advance to contact is, you know where the enemy is, and you're moving in an aggressive stance. So you might be in an extended line, or you might have one fire team going firm, ready to put on support, and another fire team moving, like, say, for example, that building over there. I would probably put a fire team in amongst the rocks there, ready to lay down cover, and I'd send another fire team on a left or right flank. That's an advance to contact. That's moving with a purpose, instead of just essentially patrolling or bimbling through the grass before you get somewhere. You want to be getting to a contact with enough stamina that you can all sprint. If you can't all sprint, or you're running out of stamina before you get hit, essentially we're doing something wrong, I think. Make sense?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. So, gonna go for a quick patrol then. And what I might do is just periodically just call out contact left or right, and I just want to see how the individual squad leader reacts, and then we'll talk about it after the fact. Okay?
Yep.
Right. All right. Sweet.
Roger.
Let's go back to the house then.
Okay, but something I've done to get rid of a lot of the stupid small questions that go to me is remove their 343 privileges. 343 is for me, Callum, or if you have a tank on your feet. Like, unless it's something in those three, you're not allowed to use it, and they don't bugger me.
It's like weird things like it's like people not waiting their turn. Like, actually might have like a few questions and stuff, but hang on 2 seconds.
It'll just be stupid questions like, where should I be stood? And it's...
Or can you fucking bring your binoculars here and check? No, I fucking
Yeah,
can't, man.
yeah.
Just fuck off. Gonna see you later.
I'm bleeding, what do I
It took a
do?
big effect actually making them do those small things in local, because they won't run over the entire line to ask me a question, so they just don't do it.
Yeah, but you know what it's like on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen out for comms, you're trying to think, and then you've got another person putting another problem in your head, and it's like, I don't really need this at the moment. Like,
in the real world, 343 is used very, very rarely. Very rarely. It's all verbal, but you know, people use it as a crux. I'm not that fussed about it, but it is. If you don't like the amount of comms on the radio, you fucking tell them. It's as simple as that. Like, you got to whip them into shape. These are your guys, they're your squad, and within reason, they need to be doing exactly as they're fucking told. And if they're not, then something's going wrong. But that's why I say, like, you drill in these real basic fundamentals of where they need to be, when they need to be there, and where they should be in the formational order of march, and it soon starts clicking together. It only takes a few sessions before it all starts clicking together. When I had Dusak, I didn't have number order as such, but people knew exactly where they needed to be, so I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like Mozzie was point man. There was someone else, can't remember his fucking name, then there was me, then I had an AUR, then I had another guy, 2 IC, and then 2 people behind him. So distance between yourself and the 2 IC shouldn't be that great. You don't want to put yourself too far up front, but at the same time you don't want to be too far behind. You need to be in a place where you can see what's happening. You can adjust formations and stuff if you need to. Like, if you know you're going somewhere, say I'll get them into a wedge or whatever, you need to be able to see that, and if there's a contact goes down, you need to be able to see that as well. Whereas your 2 IC needs to be more toward the rear, so he can control the second fire team, but he's also not that close to you, so if you go down, he's in a safe spot as well. Got to take over. Right, okay, let's crack the map open then. So, first thing we're going to do, I'm going to look at, as it is a patrol. Let's say this was a clearance patrol or something. We're essentially going to be heading to each of these dots that are on the map. So let's have Icarus. You take the first patrol as squad leader. If you organise the guys now into an order that you want them in.
Yep.
Clockwise or counterclock, since all the arrows are pointing north. For me.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me as well.
Oh,
If
wow.
you place them down before we connect, they just go north.
That's fucking stupid, isn't it?
Yep.
So much room else to spin them. No, we're going clockwise. So the first one will be grid 083 126. Right, so organise the guys there. You want to be telling your point man, like, I want to go this grid reference, I want us marching on this bearing. You know, those are the kind of instructions you should be giving to people so they know exactly where they're going. And that way, it avoids one of the big things that we always do, and that's like, we tend to stick to roads a lot, which is something I really want to get out of the habit of. So yeah, Icarus, organise the guys how you want them, give the point man a bearing, and let's patrol on that bearing to the next marker, where we will RV.
Right. Let's see, let's not worry about the 2 IC right now. Shlee, you are point man.
Cool.
I want red on left side, blue on right. And since blue is only 2, I'll stick on the right as well. So
copy.
I'll go tail
Form
in
up.
Charlie so I can see what's happening.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, form up on Shlee.
Alright, so you want to make sure you give them a bearing on which way we're travelling, that kind of stuff, and then you know or you guys know which rough way that we're going to be heading as well. Do you want to be at the rear of the squad, Icarus?
We're on channel 1, right?
You shouldn't be as a squad.
No, we're on fucking...
Trick question.
5.
5, mate. Do you want to stop, Shlee, so we can form up?
Yeah,
Fucking
didn't
fence
move
now, you
out
cunt.
yet. And now you're stopping right after a fence. Move on a bit further. We can actually fit.
Being
Yeah,
deliberately
that's fair
difficult.
Thank you. Alright, Shlee, wedge rough bearing 200 to grid 083126. That is 300 meters away.
Wedge, bearing 200.
Wedge.
Moving off, walking pace.
Joseph.
Stepping off.
Just getting some space in.
Right, so when you're moving, obviously as a squad leader, if you're not happy with the kind of coverage that you get in, or you don't think you're covering enough ground, you just tell them they'll put left flank push out, right flank push out, that kind of thing. Keep the spacings fairly close together for now, but obviously in a more realistic setting, you'd probably double these spacings. Make sure you're watching your sectors. I don't see a lot of people moving their heads around towards their sectors.
He's fucking power hungry, this guy is. He's already micromanaging me.
Welcome
I
to
want
my
to transfer.
Observation on the head thing. If the person uses Trek IR, you won't see the head move.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but nobody was moving their heads, and I don't think everyone has track IR.
I do. Hey Chris, coming up on this rock formation there, chap, what do you want us to do? Just go around it either side or through it?
Yeah, red go around left side, blue go around right.
Jack Kimbo's got a point for blue.
Regrouping.
Copy, regrouping.
Yo, Shlee.
Yo, heading to...
Got a point again, yep.
Yep, heading off. Bearing 200.
Roger, bearing 200.
Bearing 200.
Bearing 200.
Right, so now you're approaching a rough RV area, you want to start looking around and being like, okay, where's a good place to actually hold up? Then indicate that to the point man. Hill direct south, and we'll set up a 360 there.
Hill south, Shlee, yeah.
If, holding hill south.
Oh.
Good.
Holding.
Hold it.
Which way are you covering, Shley? South, yeah?
South,
I'll go
yeah.
southwest.
I got west.
I love having this scope, it's better than having binos.
Alright, chaps.
Yes, you might want to go a bit more forward so you can actually see something, like up here, maybe. Just down here, it's like, wow, look at all of this grass, beautiful.
So you all hear me? Anyone not hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Cool. Right, so as you can see with that, it's pretty easy just to control a wedge. A couple of things you just need to be wary of is the kind of size of your formation. So as we were coming up the hill there, obviously red was completely obscured by rocks. Probably would have been prudent just to collapse people down onto just a single file or something like that as we were coming up the hill. But you know, it's a minor thing. Just something that you should all be aware of when you're doing these formations is how far out people are, and to swing them round and collapse them in as and when you see fit. Really, what you don't want is like half a formation getting trapped behind an obstacle or cut off from the other side. So, for example, if there was something up here, so as blue kind of came round and started getting gunned down, red would have been able to see anything because we were all behind the rocks. So just a little thing to break, just remember. But Icarus is absolutely right. He comes up, he checks his RV itself, make sure that your people have got the arcs, that they've got a good visual cover of where they need to be, and that kind of stuff. So you can take a few seconds to kind of adjust people, push people out where you need to. So yeah, sound good job. Again though, do you see how easy it is? Like, you give them a direction, you give them a bearing. As long as you're keeping tabs on it, there's no need for them to talk. Like, they know exactly which direction they're going. 343 is only used to communicate slight adjustments or changes or hold points, and it's nice and simple. Right, Kimbo, take over on this one. So we're going to the next marker that's south.
Roger, listen guys, Retty, I need you on point. Ref, I want you second, and everyone else, I want a wedge. We're heading to grid 084123, break. And that's a bearing of 164. Let's all form up on Retty now. We all set, boys?
Set to move on your go.
Yep, go.
You good, Shley?
Yep.
I got it, actually.
Take us out then, Retty.
Copy, pushing off.
Walking pace, yeah.
Walking pace.
Let's have, yeah, blue, keep it like that, blue right. I'm just going to step left, guys. I know I'm actually fucking blue, but deal with it.
Someone's off marking.
Yeah, that's me, fuck.
Need healing.
Still hot marking. Did he just take his headphones off? Oh lord.
formation, head to the left side of the compound.
Shifting bearing 150.
Once we round the corner of the compound, continue down the road about 50 meters, then form a 180 with the wall to our backs.
Yeah, Kimbo says his keyboard froze.
Right, is falling to a file along the road while we're rounding the corner. Actually ignore the 180, Ashley, take up on the wall to your left. Rest of us form a line along the wall. Ashley?
Yeah, they're heading to the wall on my left.
That's your right.
Now I'm confused.
Stone wall, left side.
Oh, Ashley, you weren't point man?
No.
No, Reddy is point man.
Oh, yeah.
We've reached the RV, if you could pull it back to her.
Sorry, I didn't actually quite hear who took point when we
No,
walked
that's alright. I
off.
thought we were
That's fine.
Spitting the line a bit, that was all because of the two walls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought you wanted a 180 on the compound wall at first.
Yeah, but upon the terrain we had better cover than sitting on a road available 20 meters left of it.
Alright, so again, wedged down to that compound, pretty straightforward, but obviously you can see we all got bunched up. You made the right call to drop people into a file. Personally, I probably would have done it earlier and used the backside of that compound and took us right down, so we had some kind of solid protection behind us, if that makes sense. So if anyone was in that compound, they wouldn't have seen us. If that, they couldn't have shot up the hill at us essentially. So if you do ever have a solid object, try and put that between yourself and whatever terrain you've got to cover as well. But no, right call. Decent spot to have a quick breather. Decent coverage all round, and there's some solid cover in the sense of a wall, as well as some bit of cover from trees and stuff like that. So not a bad call at all. Okay, Ref, you want to take us out to the next one, mate?
Alrighty. Yes, you'll be point man today.
Wonderful.
Everyone else collapse on Jazz. Jazz, bring us to the road there.
Bring us on the road facing west, form up there. Alright, Jess, stay good.
Wait one. Let me just get Kimbo in.
Oh, alright.
In fact, no, fuck him. He'll need to sort himself out. Anyway. Go on. Take us out.
Alright, Jess, take us out. West down the road. Stay good, call him.
Right, remember, who's going left, who's going right.
Charlie left.
Blue go right, red stay left.
Does all the other squads go blue right? Is it me that is the exception?
Red's right. Blue's wrong.
Red's always right. It just
Depends
sounds
on-
right.
We just
Depends
go
on-
whichever one's closest.
Depends on the situation, Jazz. If there's more enemies on that side, that's where red goes.
Ah, you're thinking
So
tactically.
let's look at the actual formation here, guys. You need to be more staggered than than in line with each other, because obviously with this, if you get attacked from the left or right now, the people on the opposite side of the road should be able to run to the correct side and slot in the gap.
I don't know who is who here.
Get more spacing in between you guys.
Building spacing.
Alright, so if you're giving spacing, tell everyone else apart from Point Man to take a knee.
If everyone else take a knee, Point Man, move out.
Alright, then you can just call it
First
like,
blue,
number
move
two
out.
go. Like 2 go, 3 go, 4 go, that kind of thing.
3 go. 4 moving. 5 move. 6 move.
That's better.
Red team, keep an eye on those rocks there to your left. Exception, Point Man.
RB.
Copy that. Looking good.
So you're right before ref, like when things like this are going down, point out to people the major obvious places that they could get attacked from, etc. Keep people occupied, make sure you're checking that they're looking left and right, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, copy. Jazz, bring us up to the next bend there, up the road on that hill. We'll collapse there.
Copy. On the left side of the road, you want me?
We'll collapse on the middle, on the northern side of that road. Just go move out for now. Keep that current bearing that you have and move about 100 meters in front of you, then hold there.
Solid copy.
Use the trees and bushes as cover. Dabs, you still with us? Five, keep moving, keep moving.
Thailand back in.
Front of you. Jazz, you're too far out.
Those trees are way behind me.
Yep. use a defilade. Let's form up here and see where the guys have gone. Get 360 going.
Okay, so that was fairly straightforward. Obviously, a road is a road, but no, you did the right thing, Rev, just calling out obvious targets, like I said. Possibly not the best place for an RV, maybe on the opposite side of the road, just because we're in a bit of a dip here, but needs must. My recommendation for something like this would be a very close RV, so you can very quickly get your information that you need and then step off.
Copy. I was thinking more about the bushes and whatnot, using them as visual cover, basically, from those rocks in case there was a sniper, but I get your point.
No, it's absolutely valid comment, mate. It's just there's never a right or wrong answer. You do your best, and that's what you can do.
Yep, copy.
Oh, let's have Shlee. You're up next.
Copy that. Let's get a wedge bearing 330 on Jazz.
Forming up.
Forming. Charlie left.
Going in between. Slowing down a bit.
Stab's question.
Shoot.
Would it be valid to use a column and using the defilade down there with all those trees for moving through this area?
I would say it's absolutely valid. Yeah. I would either one of the two. I would either go column in the valley itself, or completely come out of the valley and go wedge up and over the hills.
Let's RV on your location. Jazz.
Holding.
Actually, let's do it to the east on top of the hill.
East top of the hill.
East up
Yep,
the hill.
move east up the hill, please.
Jazz?
Yep.
East up the hill.
Sorry.
Alright, so yeah, again, fairly straightforward. It's not easy ground to cover. You could either done one or two things. Personally, would have been either column down the valley itself, or take yourself completely out the valley, and then put a bit of a dog leg into it to get back on your bearing. It's a tricky one, but it's something you should be aware. Just at the end there where you're saying just move east, you need to be more direct with who. You can tell everyone else to take a knee, Jazz to move east on his own, or get everyone in a column behind Jazz and then tell Jazz to move east, because at the at that point there was just a bit of a bundle of people going on, because it's a lack of direction, that's all.
Yep, I'm with you.
Alright, Retty, let's take us out to the next one, please, mate.
Copy that, ref on point, bearing 323, Charlie left, wedge. Copy that, ref on point, 323. Holding to form up.
Stabs, are you also?
Form up on the move, push off. Pushing off.
Formation?
Wedge.
Wedge was called.
Yeah, sorry, I had people ping me like multiple
No worries.
on Steam at the moment.
Sorry about that.
I'm getting Zeus ping, even though I'm not logged in or anything. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, we're popular.
Quick join on your group steps.
Yep.
There you go.
Contact, northeast. Line northeast, red collapse.
Okay, squad leader, take over, take control, tell people exactly where you want them.
Expresses fire, centre northeast. Delta suppression, Charlie pushing up front, use the rocks.
Contact 015.
Get me some bearings on those contacts.
We've got one direct north. Travelling northwest.
Contact 015.
Charlotte, no eyes and a depth light, push upwards, yeah?
Red smoke on target.
Contact 019 behind the rock.
Feeling right?
Alright, Stab's taken over. Red team, pull back, establish base of fire, break. Blue team, prepare to peel off left. Red, put smoke out in front.
Mag, crossing.
Blue cover, red withdraw. Red, push up east onto the hill, get some high ground. Blue, maintain suppression. Target still at 0110, correction. 010 to 020.
Target seen.
Red suppressed, blue prepared to peel off left and flank.
Being hit. Finding hard.
Blue go now, Red maintain suppression.
Blue moving.
Blue check in when you're in position to assault. Red switch to deliberate fire, 1 or 2 rounds.
Magazine.
Blue ready to push.
Blue go now, Red up to suppression.
3-0, this is 2-0. Isn't it? This is 2-0. Are you deliberately shooting at the rifle range or not? It was around over, should have been smoke
May have been a discharge while we were testing calculations. Over.
Copy that, 3-0. No worries. Didn't cause any damage. I think you're about 50 rounds short of that.
Blue 0.
Still engaging.
Red team pinned.
Red team would pull back into the dip.
026.
Blue, we are non-combat effective, non-combat effective. Stabs, is this me up here, chap?
Roger. Right, ceasefire. Ceasefire.
It would have been mine, wouldn't it?
Alright, reorg on me.
It would be my one, wouldn't it?
It's alright.
Question?
Yep.
I wasn't unsure how to handle basically getting shot by these three guys in the nuts and everywhere. So I just laid down because I think I was dead. Alright, I'll keep it at a role-playing style then.
Don't worry about that. You focus on doing the drills as you've been taught them. Once you get close to us and you've flushed out our position, we'll roll over, put the weapons on our back, and that's us dead. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, like, guys, we're not used to really using blank rounds or anything like that, don't worry about it. Okay, so what went wrong there, apart from my orders? So, essentially, the initial reaction to contact, it was given, the bearings were given, everyone knew where to be. Problem we had was we had half the people in the dip over there, some people were up on the mound there, and it was just broken up like mad. So it's very, very important that we pay attention to the type of terrain. Which, like I was saying before, you know, you can make micro adjustments. You could fan people out, stretch them out further, etc., etc. Initial suppressive fire. What was that like, boys?
We didn't hear we weren't getting impacts, or at least I wasn't.
Yeah,
so
I wasn't either.
It might be. It might be.
a whole lot initially. It got better as it went on.
Okay.
When you had that element up by the rocks, that was a good suppressing element.
Yeah.
But...
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So there was lots of fire going out. I mean, it might be these blanks. I don't know. Lots of fire going out. Not sure, but there was also a lot of pause. I mean, I took over because nothing was really happening. It's nothing on you, Retty, at all. So don't worry about it. It was a good spot to be attacked, a bad spot to be attacked in. If that makes sense. The movement there, suppression going out from one fire team. Bear in mind, guys, you're going to have AURs, marksmen, and all that stuff as well. Just a few rifles. It doesn't really make up the entire squad. But as a squad leader, you need to be a lot more direct. Like, I didn't give the best orders, but they were direct, which is all you can do. So, you know, smoke out here, I want this here, I want that there. This micromanagement level will stop them from just turning into a bunch of fucking idiots and running around like headless chickens. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I knew if we had a 2IC there, I could have literally said, if I was squad leading red, I could have been like, red stick with me, base of fire up on that position. 2IC take over on blue, I want you to flank round left, and then your 2IC, if you've got enough trust in them, would have been able to pick out a path. You don't have to rush these things, like, at all. You could have took as much time as you wanted. A sustained firefight is going to mean people are alive, essentially. If you start poking your head out of rocks just to keep getting rounds down, you're just going to end up with loads of casualties. So take your time. We could have very, very easily on that initial contact pulled back right behind that hill there, and there was nothing stopping that from happening. and then you could at least got some cover out, put some smoke up in this direction, and pull back and try to get a long flank around to the southeast, or just completely come up this little valley here where they didn't have the best eyes, really, and you could pretty much could have followed that. If you look where it goes more or less right up to their position.
Mm-hmm.
So assess the terrain, take your time to assess the terrain, take your time to assess what firepower you've got. You could have set 2 AURs up on that hill if you had it in a decent place, just to suppress the living shit out of anything that was coming over that way. Plenty of smokes out, HEs out. You could have had your grenadier and told him to suppress that hill for 30 seconds. You know, that start putting the tools. Well, this is what I want you to think about: is start putting the tools you have to use. If you just let them go in free fire all the time, you're never going to get the best out of them. Whereas a grenadier, they complain, "Oh, don't really have a specialised role." Yes, they fucking do. They absolutely do. You can tell them to suppress an area for an amount of time, tell them to put so many HE rounds down. You guys have got 203s as standard. It doesn't mean to say you have to use them. You can just use them as an indicator. How many red smokes do you have as a 203?
Two,
I believe.
as the squad
Yeah.
lead.
2. So not that many, but you've also got whites and HE as well, right?
Yeah.
We don't have whites. We have HE for the 40 mic.
HE and reds, that's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, you can put an HE in the area where you want it and say, keep putting rounds on that location. You don't have to do it all yourself. That's what I'm trying to put across to you. And you can do the same with your AURs. You can just put a red smoke on there and say suppress the shit out of that particular area. You can even split your AURs into a gun group and have the entire rest of the section move around if you wanted it, if you're up against a certain amount of force. So these are the things that I'm trying to impress on you. I'm hoping it's coming across the right way, in the sense of think about the micromanagement side more than just the objectives. Each guy has a very, very specific role, and they'll excel in that role if you tell them exactly what to do. Might sound like dumb or like they're sucking eggs or anything like that, but the more direct you are with them, look how little chatter was going on those 343s. Now, transplant yourself into your own squad and have your own squad do that assault. What would it have been like?
Absolute chaos.
Fucking carnage, right? It might not have gone well, but so what? Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's a lot less stressful for you if you're the only person talking on that net. And that's what we need to impress upon. So, Vegas, could we do that again in another location?
Yeah, certainly.
Cool.
Food for thought. Do you want to take your BFAs off and run live rounds? And then that way, when you guys are actually shooting us, our volume of fire will reduce. So I was calling my guys like, we're suppressed now, reduce your rate of fire and stuff like that, because the we weren't feeling any blank rounds hitting us, and we're certain you guys were hitting us. It just we weren't getting that shake, that bullet.
They've only got blanks, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No lives. But just so you aren't aware of what you should be feeling.
From last week's training, stabs, they don't really give effects on close range for some strange reason.
Well, I was certainly getting fucking effects when I was getting shot.
Yeah,
Same.
have they got the blank mags though?
Yeah,
We're running live rounds, not big mags. With BFAs, which just turn them into nothing rounds. Basically.
Cool, right. I'll get some fucking live rounds out then.
Yeah. You guys,
it's not doing anything. It's
you guys
literally
were
just
feeling the
noise
hit from us,
simulations.
right?
They've changed that thing because their blank rounds used to literally just do that. Cool.
You guys, when you guys were getting hit, you were feeling them, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's just a blank mag thing.
I'm just numb anyway. I did first shoot.
Yeah. We'll just reduce fire. Alright, I'm gonna teleport us away.
Yeah, William. Like, why the fuck weren't you stopping? I shot you like at least 3 times in the foot.
Did he at least say sorry?
I think I bullied Stab a bit. He was trying to rock.
It was like the whole of Vegas just target Stabcon.
It's my fucking antenna.
I literally said we couldn't see you guys, and I literally said I hope I see the antenna before I see them. Yeah, assault.
They are a bit
when
mental.
you're assaulting, watch your flanks as well. I don't know who it was who shot me up by the rock, but you only killed me once you'd pretty much taken William's position. So I don't know which one of you that was, but I was I'll be on your right across the valley from you. So whoever shot me
On the assault team, it was probably me, mate.
Yeah, so watch your flanks, because I was shooting you in the side the entire time.
Yeah.
I'm going to teleport away, we'll see you in a bit.
Cool.
All of a sudden this became sport.
Right, there's a load of standard mags in there now.
I'm not seeing any.
At the bottom.
I dropped my blanks in there.
Yeah, I ran out of room on my fucking hard drive I was recording the training onto, and it absolutely shit itself right at the moment I was about to use my 343, so that's why I crashed out.
It's alright.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I dropped the... Yeah, did that for you guys too, hey?
Yeah, I'm not getting any actual live rounds in the box.
What, 5.5, 6mm 30 round mag?
Ace interact with it, chap.
It's all blank. Ah, right.
Don't need to ace interact with it. Talking about.
I needed to, mate.
Just inventory sits right there.
Yeah. There's 15 mags left in there.
See, when I interacted it, I can see them. I couldn't see anything when I used the infantry. It was empty.
Maybe too many people on it or something.
Very strange.
Alright, if I need to put some more in, just let me know.
That's a tracer makes you.
We're taking the adapter off, right?
No,
No.
leave not.
If you land a single hit with it off, Vegas is gonna take it off and as well, and then we're full.
Quick test stick?
Yeah, go for it. Ouch.
Alright, everyone good?
Yeah.
Testing.
All good?
Not quite.
Yeah. Cool. Nothing but tracer mags.
Cool.
Ready.
Alright then. So we got. Let's have Icarus take us out onto the next point, please.
Roger now.
So again, just think more of the micromanagement side of it. I know we don't have AURs and stuff like that, but you know who's here. You know what teams you've got. You don't have to, try and think outside the box a little bit. Think about prolonging these firefights as well. You don't have to rush in and deal with it. If you want to pull back, you pull back.
Has everybody had to go leading?
Yep.
Any chance I can go again? Because mine kind of crashed out.
Ugh, if we must.
Seems fair.
Thank you. Okay. Let's go. Jazz, point man, Icarus next in line. And we are going to go to a grid of 078130 for a bearing of 343. Form up. Ready? Piss off, that's my spot.
It's alright.
Fuck you know.
I'm trying my best.
We all good?
Yes. Yeah.
Jazz, take a set on a wedge, please.
Right, so we know we're in hostile grounds now, boys, so let's keep eyes out, yeah?
Right, assault element's going to be red team, support element's blue.
Copy.
Any contact with the firefight, blue get a base of fire.
Kimbo, use your radio for this kind of chat, Max. People will be able to hear you from miles away.
Alright boys, if we take contact, red team assault element, blue team our support element, break. Win the firefight initially, call out where the contact is. Blue, stand by to form up on a extended line when we get the initial contact, break. Red team, be on standby to peel either left or right. Knowledge.
Red copies. Blue copies.
As well, make sure you've got smoke grenades selected, at least one person in each fire team.
Smoke selected.
Right, boys, sorry to be keep on the comms, but if we get bumped here, we're fighting uphill, remember? Break. We might just need to fucking advance in a bound if we do get bumped here. Understood?
Red copies.
Blue copies.
Kimber, don't be sorry for getting on comms. You're the person that should be on comms the most.
Yeah, roger that.
What about that micromanagement, dude? Like, just tell people exactly where they need to be, exactly where they need to go, and things don't go wrong.
Yeah, roger that. Right, lads, we're coming up to the crest of the hill. On your go, Rete, we'll form up an extended line before we crest, taking a knee. Understood?
Copy. Red forming line, over crest.
Yeah, roger that, just do it now, guys. Don't worry about being in your fire teams, just get on the extended line to start with. Let's take a knee. Weapons up, boys.
Blues formed. Red set.
Roger that. Walking pace, everyone up, weapons up, come on. Watch out for the rocks, boys, that's where the sneaky fuckers are going to be. Who's got left flank?
Sleep.
Got right flank?
Ref.
Right, Steve, watch those rocks.
FM.
Right, stop. Good night. Blue, red team,
Holding.
I want you to peel off to the west. Blue team, form up on me.
Red peeling west. Yeah, just to confirm, like, you shouldn't be acting like you know exactly where they are.
Yeah, roger that.
Actually on point.
That'll do nicely, boys, right. Let's go extended line up. Walking pace.
Just to, you know, figure out how we're acting when we are attacked.
Let's go into a wedge on Retty then.
Copy that.
Right, Retty, check us more north. Contact northwest.
Bearing 331.
Get some smoke out. Smoke out, boys, northwest. Get low. Right, blue team, form on me, extended line, facing northwest. Red, prepare to flank.
Contact seen bearing 3-5.
Contact 340, got it.
Red, get a white smoke on their position, please.
We've got red smoke I can put on it.
I'll do it, anything.
White smoke out.
Red, confirm when you're ready to peel.
That's it.
Red set to push. Peeling which direction?
Northwest, southwest. Keep up the fire, blue.
Copy that, peeling southwest.
Right, sleep. Left man.
FM. Move in.
Come on boys, let's move.
Blue team, can we get another smoke on that red smoke? Come on, let's get another one out there.
Red team pushing west, keeping the crest on the right.
Let's pick up the pace maybe. while we're in cover.
Blue, I don't want them to be able to see
Yeah,
anything. Come on.
moving too fast while crouched. Just bypass me and I'll tag on rail.
Who's got right flank, Blue? Rev. Do that, watch for people sneaking up on us. Talk to me, red team, what's happening?
Pushing past second quest on the left.
Do that, just advise when you're in position.
Possible contact on hit. On hit.
Red team taking contact from northwest.
Do that, they're aware where you are, yeah?
3-0, this is Gambler.
Roger that, Blue, we're pulling back, we're going to link up with red.
This is Gambler. Are you able to accomplish 5 missions at this time, over?
Blue, we're moving southeast, get down the hill, we're going to reinforce red
Copy
then
that.
where we are.
Request ordnance and following grids. Prepare for 8-figure. Break. 1309 1439. Break.
Red, keep up the fire, Blue, we're
Request
joining you.
2 times HE on that grid. Over.
Readback fire mission 2 times high explosive 1
Pull back and spawn out
3
left.
0 9 1 4 3 9.
Read back okay. Let me know when the runs are out.
Blue, form up on the right side of red. Ref, I want you to check the 6, please.
Already on it, mate.
Mag.
Smoke blocking enemy position.
Yeah, roger that, red. Blue are going to set up on your position. What I want you to do is to try and flank further northwest, understood?
Copy that. Not much cover on the way to the next set of rocks.
Yeah, roger that.
We'll
We'll try and put as much smoke down as we can. What are you saying, Retty? Is it going to be unworkable?
It's gonna be a hell of a run.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, nah, that's shit. Roger. Right. Red, you're probably going to have to try and work a flank northeast, then there seems to be more cover.
Kimbo,
Yeah.
if there's no, like, you got to worry at this point about ammo. Like, I've burnt through like 3 mags so far.
Yeah,
What's going to be the lesser of two evils, trying to flank or go in full frontal assault and fire and manoeuvre?
Yeah, Raj. Right, blue team, red team, stand by. We're going to be doing 4-second bounds. Acknowledge.
Acknowledge.
Copies.
Right, suppressing team, it's 1 shot every 3. Conserve mags. Red team, stand by to move.
Red team set.
Red, go.
Move in.
Red set. Blue move.
Blue, go. Bound 2, boys, bound 2.
Red moving.
Closer we get. Increase the fire.
Contact 353.
Blue, go. Blue down.
Red moving. Red set. Blue move. Smoke up.
Blue, go.
Two zero. This is 30 rounds out / 25 seconds.
Right, boys, hold.
Remember, if the weapon's on our back, they're playing dead.
Guys, we've got a bit of defilade here. Let's just take stock of what we got. Anyone got eyes?
Negative eyes through smoke to give us some approach.
Blue covering. Red, push.
Red pushing.
Right, at least 3 down in the stones at our direct 12 o'clock.
This is Gambler, rounds complete, or sorry, rounds
Set, blue
impacted. One
move
about 5 meters long, the other one
Going
was
northwest,
absolutely dead
blue,
on.
northwest.
Good shots, 3-0. Gambler out.
Copy BDA, standing by for fire missions.
Blue set.
Red moving.
Use the rocks.
Red set. Blue move.
Blue going. Lots of suppressive fire. Come on, guys.
Magazine.
set.
Red moving.
Blue gain to grenade distance and using nades. Practice nades only. Red even.
Copy that. Red holding.
Shifting fire north.
Could you confirm special ordnance? So, or just confirm what ordnance you have on station? Over.
Copy.
Red set for final
That
approach.
Daimler ordnance readout is as follows. Break
Mag.
20 times.
Yeah, go for it, Red.
1 time
Break last.
smoke.
Go.
5 times illumination. 2 times ICM. 1 times anti-personnel mine. 1 times AT mine. 2 times GPS guided.
West flank clear.
Copy that. Request
Hold it back.
HE
Roger that.
barrage on same grid
Blue
spread.
team, ceasefire, ceasefire.
50 metre spread. As much
Red
HE as
pushing
you've got.
northeast.
Over.
Looks all clear.
Trace, can you cover Blue's push as we push east?
Copy that. Red holding to cover.
Right, Blue, standing up, extended line on me. We're pushing northeast to those rocks.
Alright, end exit there, end exit. Yeah, they're up.
I think I shot my BFA off.
Yeah, I was already wondering, how did you kill William?
Don't know, the BFA just completely vanished. I was like, oh, shit.
Never had one on stabs.
I
That's a
did.
terrifying sight. Look at that.
Nah, when you went into Zeus to bring the live fire out, I think it
Oh,
was.
is that when it disappeared?
That was
I
a
know I
good fire
definitely did have one.
sandwich.
Oh well, must have just bugged out. Sorry, William.
Sorry.
I'll do it again. don't
Gamma
worry.
20, this is 30 barrage beginning, 20 rounds going out.
Alright, so, as you can see, a sustained firefight
46-second flight time
changes the
per
ball game
round.
quite considerably with ammo conservation and all the rest of it. I've got no problems whatsoever in bringing in resupply after resupply if firefights go like that. I've got issues bringing in resupplies when it's like 5 minutes into the game and the firefight's lasted 5 seconds. Okay, so not bad at all. Like I say, Kimbo, the decision to push probably should have been made earlier, just because of the terrain. Like sometimes you've either got to just pull back or go balls to the wall and go for it. Keeping up suppression for that amount of time, just people are going to run out of ammo like real quick. I'm pretty sure you're probably all down to like 1 mag or less now, right? Depending on how much is stocked up.
Well,
Not far off.
Yeah, no, I wish I had 1 mag or less.
Your standard loadout would probably you'd probably be running pretty low on that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got no problem with sustained firefights.
This is down to 3-0. Begin adjusting fire 50 metres northwest. Break.
1 sec, radio.
Just for future rounds over.
So yeah, decision could be made a bit earlier. But initially, I mean, the suppression going out initially looked good to me. The amount of smoke looked good for the type of terrain that it was. It was, again, a good spot to attack someone and a bad spot to try and bring the fight to them. But it's what we have to do. Any comments from Vegas?
The smoke was great in that little valley, and then D-Dog and I were moving to flank, and then you guys had already looped around the rear of the hill and flanked us first. So, I mean, it doesn't work very well with AI, but at least for us, it definitely was a good maneuver, in my opinion.
D-Dog, you couldn't actually see them through that smoke on the right, could you? You just, from what I could see, you were just firing above their heads, right?
Yeah,
like over the top of it.
Towards the end of it, I was just spraying the smoke.
Yeah. So,
We was
that
trying
smoke,
to put in... Sorry, Cease.
that smoke on the right-hand side was, it would have been left for you guys, but right for us. was good. We could see you really through it.
And Stab, I'm not sure if this was the intent, but when you popped that red smoke behind us, it actually did a really good silhouetting effect, where we were basically really clear targets in front of that red smoke.
Let's just pretend that was intentional. But no, I kind of roughly knew where you were, which I was going to get into now. So, Kimbo, the amount of micromanagement I'd say is about right. The biggest thing I've got against that whole thing was just lack of call-outs where the enemy actually were. I mean, in all honesty, who knew exactly where the enemy were throughout all of that?
I didn't fucking, mate. I was just firing in a general direction.
And you're the fucking squad leader.
Yeah.
That's a problem. Remember the training we did months ago with the whole fire control orders and all that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Go back to it. If you don't know where the enemy actually is, you better find out and fucking quick, because you could have sent someone into the jaws of death for all you know. You could have sent them side on to someone. Like, luckily we didn't. Most people knew roughly the general area, which is good enough for the initial return fire. But after that, that's when you take control, and this goes to everyone. If you don't know where that contact is, you need to ask the question. As squad leaders, you need to ask the question initially, but just as riflemen, you need to ask the question. If you don't know and the squad leader hasn't told you, you better get that information toot sweet. And then you can pass it on, and then it can be given as a fire control order. It's all about managing that initial burst. So, like, the initial return fire is just general suppression in the general area where they're coming from. Then you take stock, you take control, you find out exactly where the targets are. If there's multiple spread out like there was then, and we're pouring all our rounds down to some rocks over here, well, we're completely ignoring the ones over to the north or northeast. So take stock. We could have had two separate fire teams firing at two different things there, but we didn't. But again, it's a tricky terrain, and it's stuff that's not going to come straight away, but it's stuff you need to think about, alright? So I'll put some more rounds down now. We got enough time for one more, do we think?
Of course we have.
20 seconds.
Also, another important thing about knowing exactly what you're shooting at and exactly what you're clearing your guys onto. Friendly fire. If you don't know what you're shooting at, how do you know your guys aren't shooting at friendlies? And let's be honest, every squad here probably has someone in their squad who you as squad leaders think, if he IDs something in the distance, I need to check it because he might have just ID'd Vegas as contacts or as enemy contacts.
Yep.
Right?
Don't know what you're talking about, Caesar. Arrow doesn't have that problem at all.
I think everyone in
At least you know when you shoot at us, because Perkins is screaming we're friendly.
Yes, that's when we got to the phase where Vegas starts shooting back, which is we want to avoid in the first place. But yeah, so you need to know what you guys are shooting at. Not only to conserve ammo and send people in the right position, but also to make sure they're not enemy. Sorry, also to make sure they're not friendly, rather.
Alright, so I'm gonna observe this last one. Let's have Icarus squad lead, Jazz goes to IC. And just as a refresher for you all, if you can't quite remember it, the whole fire control order thing, the acronym is GRIT. It's group, range, indication, type of fire. So that's red team, blue team, squad, whatever. Range 200, indication could be a bearing, clock face, even just an indicator of large rock or white house, something like that. And then type of fire, rapid, deliberate, watch and shoot, whatever you want it to be. Okay? Alright then. Icarus, get them organised, move off to, which one is it now? 082, correction 0131.
Yep, roger. Right, let's get this color sorted first. I'll go yellow, and yes, you can go red. Let me just get a lay of the land real quick. Alright, let's form up on Kimbo. So huddle up. Moving East bearing 105 for 700 meters.
Roger, east 105, 700 metres.
Yeah, let me slot in here real quick. I don't want to be in the back.
Bye, Vegas.
Alright, take us out. Watch formation.
Roger, stepping off.
3-0, this is Gamma.
Send it.
This is 3-0. Most of Gamma come to the end of training, believe that 1-0 is continuing on with his training break. Should you wish to continue your training, you are free to do so. However, if you do want a quick debrief, you can do so if you just want to jump and come to base now. Over.
Copy that. We'll be en route shortly.
Switch us southeast. I want to get off this hill.
Roger, switching southeast, heading 131. Nick, you just want me to follow this valley all the way down to the east, yeah?
Yeah, Affirm, just keep going this way for another 50 meters and switch direct east. Cannons to the left of them. Cannons to the right of them.
Switching east. I don't like being on point, I feel like I'm going to get shot first.
Why do you think I put you there?
Mother of God, man.
How do you know Mother of God is, man?
Man, just cut the shit. Chatter. Keep your eyes open.
Got movement north, east, east, ruined building.
Roger that. Form up. Let's get an eye on that.
Misfire, sorry.
Yeah, that's what I told him. Take out the safety. Confirmed 1 times moving in ruined building 063.
063, copy. No point.
Moved from inside a ruined building to left.
Left side.
team on me, set up on this hill facing northeast line. Get ready to engage. Red team start going down the hill towards the northeast. Full spread.
Moving.
Red on me.
Red moving.
Upper moving, upper moving.
Moving.
Ready hit.
Shift right, shift right.
Magazine. Following you up.
Yeah, get the origin of the smoke and go prone. Right.
Throwing
I'm out of
smoke.
smokes. Yeah. I have good position. How about you boys?
Set, but also injured by that last round.
Set.
We good?
Pushing down, northeast.
Neg just lost.
Can't actually see the targets. Past smoke. The hill's
Yeah,
blocking
they
our
pop
view.
smoke as well. Yeah, all concealed by smoke. Just keep up.
Yes, target
Suppression
seen.
is slightly left of the house, 50 meters.
Blue team is set.
Magazine.
Right, loaded.
Contact scene, northeast east. Bearing 30.
You set?
Red team move to the next smoke.
Ready set.
Let's move.
Moving.
Alright, shift right, shift right.
Contact direct northeast left of the smoke. Bearing 3-3 to contact.
Red and good positions. Press.
Mag.
Red team, we have two contacts on the smoke up the hill to the north, northeast from located.
And one of us.
Blue is moving.
More contacts far. Direct north.
Bearing.
On your right.
Contact north are down. Looks like we got one or two contacts left in the northeast. Does anyone know exactly where they are at this time?
Negative.
Qualified guess around the area of the ruined building.
Contact bearing 014.
014.
014.
2-0 behind the red bush.
Red bush.
Peeling right.
Hold fire. Red team hold position. Blue team start peeling right.
Peeling off right.
Cheeky respawn, peeling right.
Blue set on the right.
Not quite.
Red start peeling.
Well, I'm not counting your fat ass.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't really call it if it's not happened.
Move in, last one.
I'm just salting mate because I've got fucking shot every time I fucking push forward. Ignore me.
Blue team peel.
Peeling off.
Peeling last man.
Peeling.
Red team peel.
Peeling.
Stay last man.
Copy it, move it.
Red, once you move past me, just go north-northeast towards that building. Put out some smoke.
Moving.
Let's watch red.
Cover that, watching north.
Divert slightly northeast, we have the big rocks in between us and what we do not know.
Okay,
Copy
guys,
that.
that's an index.
Index. Nice working with you boys.
Yeah, always.
Thank you, you too.
Don't get to do it very often, do we?
Nah.
Always on the other side. Matt.
Oh!
Oh.
Relax.
Surprise. Scotty.
Why don't people always go?
Because it's a sudden change in brightness.
That was poor timing.
Yeah, wasn't it?
Literally, pretty much split second, we both teleported each squad in the opposite direction.
Alright, chaps. Overall, that was very good. My major gripe with that would be just you went the wrong way. You went left, and I would have gone right. If you... what I'm going to do, because I'm going to give you... 1 second. I'm going to give people Zeus now, so they got a bit of overhead. I'll give you Chris Zeus to start
I
with.
realized about when they were halfway down towards their first bound, I was like, oh shit, I should have sent them the other way. And I was like, oh,
if you'd have
I'll
gone
better just stick with
basically,
it now.
if you'd have gone right, it would have put some defilade between yourselves and the enemy position much faster than the left route. But I saw that you spotted that. You tried to correct it as quickly as you could once you got into that position. But even, to be honest, even the push down was pretty decent. You'd killed most of the enemy by that time. Good use of smoke cover from what I could see. But yeah, the comms and everything were much better this time. You know, clean, direct, telling people what you wanted. Good use of various movements, peeling, bounding, all that kind of stuff. That was good. That's the kind of thing we want to see. And like I said, I don't mind resupplying prolonged firefights like that and you telling me that you ran out of ammo when you've had a firefight that's lasted kind of 10-15 minutes kind of thing. Don't have an issue with that at all. Anything from Vegas there?
No, nothing from me. It looked good. Accurate fire at distance. It was hard for us to get, or at least for me, to bring the weapon system to bear on you guys because I just couldn't see you. And then when I did, if I exposed myself too much, rounds was zinging right past me. So I was just literally like popping up, firing a burst in the general direction, and then finding a new spot to fire from. Anyone else from Vegas got anything to add? Guess not.
Fair dues. Anything from the rest of you guys? Any feedback on tonight?
Great training.
Yeah, nice. Nice
Need to
break
figure
tonight.
out how to teach it to the guys.
Same way. The thing is, gents, you could set this up yourselves. You know, just go squad v squad and practice these kind of movements. Get used to using your 2 ICs and your ICs. You should be teaching this, which is why I've took you guys to one side and doing it. Now you know the things to look out for, hopefully, and you can impress this upon your squad yourselves. But like I said, I've got no issue with like you teaming up and just doing this. We'll put down whatever you need, Arsenal wise or Zeus wise, and you can just go at it for a night, practice different things, see how effective things are. But the big thing I want you to take away from tonight is just that element of control amongst yourselves and making sure that you're not herding cats for the entire mission. Give them direction, give them orders, and they'll do it. It's only when you stop giving that constant line of communication is when it all starts going a bit awry. So keep on top of it. Not that you're doing a bad job, but it could just be tighter, and it will make your life a lot easier if you just direct them and give them more clear instructions. All right.
All right.
Cool. Well, thanks very much for your time tonight, guys. If there's anything else, grab me straight after.
I'm just gonna test insta death. Okay, it works.
Well, that works.
So hopefully the MG42 conveyed the threat it should have.
Yes.
The only thing I hate about it is that it actually says was killed by stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
See if we can get rid of that.
Awesome. Right. Thank you very much, then, boys. Have a great rest of the evening.
Cheers.
See you later.
Just Kimbo. Everyone else is fine. It was just Kimbo wanted to kill.
For fuck's sake.
Take his dog tags.
Let's go and see what's happening with who's over there.